We are actually going out to Los Angeles there, where we have attorney Gloria Allred right now hosting this news conference to announce filing of a new lawsuit against Alec Baldwin and Rust on behalf of the parents and sister of Halyna Hutchins. Let's listen right here on Live Now from Fox.
Sister of Halyna Hutchins, and that will be played in both Russian and English. Then we are going to take questions. I have with me my wonderful co-counsel, an incredible lawyer, John Carpenter, and John is going to introduce other members of his team, and he is going to take your questions. Both those online, where you can enter the chat and ask your questions, and then also anyone who is here in person. Of course, we welcome your questions as well. We are here today to announce that we represent the mother, the father, and the sister of Halyna Hutchins, and that on their behalf we have filed a lawsuit today in Los Angeles County Superior Court against Alec Baldwin, producers of Rust, and other defendants who may have been responsible for the tragic death of Halyna Hutchins. May she rest in peace. Halyna's mother, Olga Solovey, is devastated by the shocking killing of her beautiful daughter, Halyna. Olga had a very close relationship with her daughter, and they depended on each other for emotional and financial support. Svetlana Zemko is Halyna's younger sister. She also had a very close and a loving relationship with her big sister, Halyna, and she feels strongly that anyone who is responsible for her loss must be held accountable. Anatoly Andrusovich is Halyna's father. He loved Halyna. His relationship with her can never be replaced and is now irreparably damaged. For that reason, we filed a lawsuit today alleging battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, and loss of consortium for our three plaintiffs. Loss of consortium is a claim which seeks to recover compensation for damages to certain relationships that are mutually dependent. It's clear to us that the relationships of all of our clients have been damaged, and that they will not be able to enjoy life in the same way as they did when their precious Halyna was alive. Halyna was the light in their lives. Of course, for all of our three clients, the tragic loss of their daughter and sister is heartbreaking. But now, in addition to this tragedy, they have to try to cope with that loss while living in Ukraine in the midst of Putin's war. Olga is doing her best to cope with the loss of Halyna, while at the same time acting as an emergency operating room nurse in a hospital in Ukraine, where she's caring for those who have been hurt in battle. Svetlana is a young mother who is caring for her 4-year-old and breastfeeding her infant, often in the dark. Her husband has been away fighting in the war on the front lines and has only recently come home for a visit. The sisters were very close. They are 7 years apart in age, and Halyna was essentially a second mom to Svetlana. Halyna told her about everything, from puberty to early womanhood to cooking and baking, which Halyna really loved to do, and everything in between. She taught her how to dance and how to dress, and was a tremendous support to her. Halyna's plan and her family's plan was always for Halyna to bring her family to the United States so that they could be together. But now her mother and sister know that their dream to be together with Halyna, Matt, and their grandson, Andros, will never happen. They still hope, however, that one day they will be able to come to live in the United States and be an important part of their grandson's life. Olga thinks of Matthew Hutchins as her son, And Svetlana felt that the relationship between Matt and Halyna made her believe that true love is possible. This makes Halyna's death even more unbearable. We are honored to represent this brave family with our co-counsel, John Carpenter, his associate, Carlos Hernandez, and Alina Bullock of the law firm of Carpenter and Zuckerman, and I know they couldn't do it without the assistance of their wonderful legal assistant, Valerie. We will do everything possible to fight the good fight for them, and we hope that one day Halyna's mother, father, and sister will be able to come to the United States to be reunited with Matt and their grandson, Andros. We look forward to victory for Ukraine and justice for the parents and sisters of Halyna Hutchins. Glory to Ukraine. And now we will view some of the photos that we have of their life together. The first photo is of Halyna, Olga, and Andros. And we have blocked out the face of Andros so that he can have some privacy. The next photo is of Andros and Anatoly, his grandfather. The next photo is of Svetlana and Halyna. The next photo is of Svetlana and Halyna. The next photo was taken in Santa Monica, and it's of Olga, Halyna, and newborn Andros. And the final photo that we will view today is of Halyna, Olga, and Svetlana. And now we will play video. First one is in Russian, and it will be Svetlana speaking, and you will see Olga on the video. Okay.
Мы сестра и мама Галины Хатчинс. Потерять сестру лично для меня это был ужасный опыт. И это одна из самых больших потерь в моей жизни. Еще очень тяжело наблюдать, как страдают мои родители. И как подкосилось их здоровье.
Some of you will be seeing a quick 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox. Stay right here with us.
понес за это ответственность. Не просто кто-то, а тот, кто в этом виноват. Я считаю, что безнаказанно просто так это оставлять нельзя.
We will be providing this video to those who are here on a separate clip. And now we will play it, and now we will play it in English. That was
Мы сестра
We're
и
the
мама
sister of the
Галины
mother
Хатчинс.
of Halyna Hutchins.
Потерять
To
сестру
lose
лично
my
для
sister,
меня
at least
это было
personally
ужасно.
for me, was a horrible experience.
И это
And it is one
одна
of
из
the
самых
biggest
больших
losses
потерь в
of my
моей
life.
жизни.
And even
Еще
more
очень тяжело
devastating
наблюдать,
is
как
to see the utter suffering of
страдают
our
мои
parents
родители.
and how their health
И
has sharply declined.
как подкосилось их здоровье.
It is for this reason
Поэтому
that I would like
мне бы
those who are
хотелось,
at
чтобы
fault
были
for
найдены
somebody
виновные,
to carry that responsibility.
кто-то понес за это ответственность. Не
And
просто
not
кто-то, а
just
тот, кто в
someone.
этом виноват.
But that very someone who is truly
Я считаю, что
responsible for this.
безнаказанно
I
просто
believe
так
to let
это
this
оставлять
go
нельзя.
and to leave this unpunished is unallowable.
this is a copy of the lawsuit that was filed in LA County Superior Court today, and we'll be happy to answer questions about that or anything else. And now I'd like to introduce my wonderful co-counsel, the awesome John Carpenter. For questions. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to
before
say
the questions?
something briefly. Thank you, Gloria.
Could the mics be changed?
Oh, yeah.
You want to
Here,
switch?
wait, just wait, move over. Here it is.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
How's that? Okay. A little more.
Yeah, got
There
it.
you go.
All right. Thank you, Gloria. Halyna Hutchins came to the United States from Ukraine to follow her dream. And that dream included making a better life for herself and her entire family. And her mom, Olga, could not have been more proud of her. And when Halyna was taken away by Baldwin and the Rust producers, they delivered a wound that will last forever. A gaping wound that never really heals. And the only thing that can make that a little bit better is justice. And that's why Gloria and I are here. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Yes?
Two questions. Why is this lawsuit necessary when there's already been a settlement with Halyna's
Right.
husband, number one? Number two, can you describe the difference between this accountability and the accountability that Alec Baldwin is facing in the criminal justice system?
Okay, let me just answer
Absolutely,
the first
sure.
one, then you answer
Okay.
the second one if you don't mind. So the question was, and I'll repeat all the questions so those on Zoom can also hear your questions. Why is this lawsuit necessary since apparently there's been a settlement with Matthew? Well, the settlement was for Matthew and his child, and we are now representing others in the family, mom, dad, and sister, and there has been no settlement for them. Matter of fact, there has been no outreach to them by Mr. Baldwin to even say he was sorry. So we want accountability and justice for them. It's as simple as that.
Yes, when you take someone away, you damage the entire family unit. And we support Matthew, and like you said, Matthew was an inspiration for Svetlana's belief in true love. And so this case is just the other side of for the rest of the family. Mm-hmm. And your other question you had was about how's
The criminal.
The criminal. Yeah, in criminal cases, the plaintiff or the person prosecuting is actually the government. And there's criminal punishment. Here this is civil accountability, and what we seek is an acknowledgement of what was taken, the love, the relationship, and again, that really helps in the healing process.
And of course, there's a different burden of proof in the criminal case. In a criminal case, as John said, it's the government's case. It's not the case for the clients, which is what is the situation with a civil case. It has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. We have a lower burden of proof, a preponderance of the evidence, or for punitive damages, clear and convincing evidence. But the point is, this is the mom, the dad, and the sister's case that we are bringing. And whatever happens with the criminal case, we are pursuing this civil lawsuit for them to win justice.
Has Matthew talked to you about this case?
Well, Matthew...
Or the family?
Sure. Matthew's represented by a separate counsel, and so we can't really talk to him directly because of his attorney-client relationship.
Well, has the family talked to him? Mom, dad?
Oh, yeah,
Are they all aware of what's going on?
They're in communication, let's put it that way. And, you know, they wish Matthew and the very best.
When was the last time they spoke?
Well, we're not going to get into those details. But.
Has your office reached out to Baldwin's camp for a settlement? And also, how much of
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your question.
I said, has your office reached out to the Baldwin camp for a settlement for the family? And how much are you seeking in damages?
To be clear, the settlement with Matt is totally separate and distinct.
No, I'm talking about the settlement on behalf of the family.
Have we reached out to them in order to try to settle this without filing a lawsuit? Have we reached out to? First of all, we never discuss any kind of settlement discussions with anyone. But having said that, we filed a lawsuit today.
Yes.
If there had been a settlement, we wouldn't be sitting here filing a lawsuit.
Gloria, who are you suing?
Okay.
You said, and others.
Yes, well, we will give out copies of this lawsuit. It's Rust Movie Productions, LLC, Alexander R. Baldwin III, El Dorado Pictures, Inc., Ryan Donald Smith, Langley Allen Cheney, Thomasville Pictures. And then I'll go on to the second page. Those are some of the defendants. And the others, Angel Negum, Brittany House Pictures, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, Sarah Zachary, Seth Kenny, PDQ Arm and Prop, LLC, David Halls, Nathan Klinger, Ryan Winterstern, Short Porch Pictures, Matthew Del Piano, Calvary Media, Gabrielle Pickle, Third Shift Media, Catherine Walters, Chris M.B. Sharp, Jennifer Lamb, Emily Salveson, Streamline Global, and Does 1 through 100 inclusive.
Are there precedents for a case like this in which the family members live overseas, and would there be any impediments to something like that?
Well, yes.
To the microphone.
I'm sorry. Yes, there's. I mean, it's pretty well established, especially in the state of New Mexico where this occurred, that injured family members whose loved ones are taken away deserve justice no matter where they are in the world. And there certainly is not limited just to being in the geographical area of the United States.
Are there any plans for them to come here?
Oh yeah, I think they're going to come here in the next few months, I believe. Yeah, for a visit.
When was the last time they were here?
Well, I think for the funeral. Yeah.
Because one of the things you said is that they wanted to be able to come here. Did you mean come here and assume citizenship, or come? Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. It's our belief that Halyna, if she was alive, would not have allowed her family to live in the state of affairs in Ukraine right now. And this, Halyna was taken away before the war, and so yeah.
But what's stopping them?
Well, they're fighting the fight. You know, Olga is a first-line nurse, and they don't really have anybody here. They have their grandson, but they don't really. She doesn't really want to come here to interfere with Matthew, and so they're still in Ukraine.
You mentioned this case will go on, whatever happens with the criminal case, but can you describe any?
Well, this case will go on unless and until there's justice. through a settlement or through a verdict and a judgment in a court of law, whichever comes first.
What kind of interplay might there be between your case and that case? And would you be using elements of that case?
Which case?
In your case, the criminal case against
Oh, what kind
Mr.
of,
Baldwin.
question is what kind of interplay would there be between our civil lawsuit and the criminal case?
If any, yes.
Well, I mean, there may be some of the same witnesses in our case that we will want to depose that may also be witnesses, for example, in the criminal case. Would you like to add anything to that? That's
Yeah, I mean, we have, in civil cases, we have what's called discovery, where we take depositions of witnesses and ask for written discovery. We imagine that some of the witnesses in this case will assert their Fifth Right Amendment and refuse to testify in this case, so it might delay things a bit, but the evidence is the same, the incident is the same, the tragedy is the same.
And then the charges against Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed bolster your case, in your opinion?
Excuse me?
The criminal charges against Mr. Baldwin and Ms. Gutierrez-Reed, you would use that to bolster your case, or?
They don't. The facts bolster the case, not the filing of the criminal case. Yeah.
Do you expect that Matthew will be a part of your case?
well, you know, our focus is on those who are responsible for the untimely and tragic death of Halyna Hutchins. That's our focus. And we're very supportive of Matthew and whatever he has decided from a legal point of view. We're not there to second guess him, we're there to support him.
Gloria, can you say exactly where Halyna's family live in Ukraine? What city they're in?
I couldn't hear the question, I'm sorry. Would you please repeat it?
Yeah, what city in Ukraine are Halyna's family now in?
Well, they are near Kyiv, that is, Olga and Svetlana are.
We have some questions from Zoom.
Okay,
Someone asked, when can we get a copy of the lawsuit?
okay. Well, if you are pressed, all you have to do is email me. You have my email, and we will send you a copy as soon as this press conference concludes.
Can you share the spellings of the plaintiffs' names?
The plaintiffs' names are spelled on the copy of the lawsuit. And so we will provide that as soon as we conclude.
I have a question. Are the family members seeking to come to the United States to flee the war in Ukraine?
Before, what's the last part of the question? Are they
flee the war in Ukraine? Are they coming to the United States?
I think that John answered that question. You know, they're fighting for their country. They're supporting their country. But they do plan to come to visit. Obviously, they miss their grandson, and they'd like to be there with him. That will be a comfort to them and hopefully to him as well. And, you know, be as much of a family as they can be while they're here, supportive of Matthew and Andros.
You said the family in Ukraine had planned to join Halyna in the United States. Had they filed any requests for visas or begun the immigration process before Halyna was killed?
The question is, had they filed any requests for visas or any other documents in order to come to the United States before Halyna was shot and killed?
No. No.
The answer is no. Are there any other questions from any individual in the room who has not yet had an opportunity to ask a question? Or if you have, please go ahead.
Sorry, just to be clear, it's my understanding from what you've said is Halyna would not have left her family in that war-torn country, that she would have tried to bring them to America and got them off the front lines. Is that what you're saying? So if she was still alive, she would have brought them to America? And that's...
She would have brought them to the United States when it was possible for her to bring them. And she was, even before she met Matthew, working and studying. She met him in a cafe where she was working, and, you know, she went on, she studied. First she studied to become a director, then she decided there might be more opportunity as a cinematographer, so she studied hard for that. By the way, her mom would like everybody to know She was a wonderful student, a phenomenal student, a straight A student, but even while, you know, she was studying and working, she was always sending money home to provide for her family in Ukraine and planning for the day when they could all be together.
And would you say that's part of the core of the case, is this reunification, possibly in the United States, was thwarted basically by her killing?
The question is that the core of the case, what, for them?
That the loss of the ability for Halyna to bring her family from a war-torn country and bring them together.
I would say no. I'd say the core of the case is the love that they had for each other and the love that was taken. That's the core of the case.
And the relationship
Yeah.
that was beautiful and that was broken and irreparably injured by the killing of their loved one.
What does justice look like at this point for the family?
What does justice look like for the family? Of course, there's no real justice when someone has been killed, especially if they have been killed by a criminal act or acts. But the best that a civil system can do is to work to find the truth and hold accountable those who are responsible for committing the wrong or the crime or both against them. That's the best that can be done.
Yeah, that's a really good question. That what does justice look like? And but justice, like I said, is finding the truth, getting the truth to be known, seeing Halyna and their relationship for the truth and for the love that it was, and bringing people that were responsible for destroying that, holding them accountable.
How much of the truth do you know at this point?
We know quite a bit. We know quite a bit.
You haven't mentioned the father as much as you've mentioned her mother and her sister. He wasn't in the video. Is there any reason why?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You haven't mentioned her father as much, who you're also representing.
Oh, I did, yeah.
But he wasn't in the video, and we've
Oh, yeah,
found
the
out
father was not in the
what
video.
was
And
done.
by the way, the mom did not speak in the video. She wanted to be able to do it, but she was so overwhelmed with grief that every time that, you know, we tried to do that, she just broke out in tears and couldn't stop crying and couldn't talk. She literally, we didn't want her to feel more pain from trying to do this. So at least at this time, we don't have her speaking. You could see on the video she's trying to contain her pain and a tear came down. But so we didn't have her, and for logistical reasons, we didn't have the father on video. But he is an important part of this family. He's continued communication with Matthew, and we're honored to be representing him as well. Hopefully, in the future, we'll hear more from both of them. Is there anything else on the chat?
Yeah,
Jared?
I got Chloe Melas from CNN. In the state of California, does the loss of consortium law state that someone other than the spouse or legal partner can sue? I thought this law only applied to spouses and legal partners.
Okay, the question is about law from CNN, and in reference to who can sue in California, and I think we'll talk about New Mexico law as well.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. In California, they have wrongful death lawsuits, which if you have a spouse and a child, typically siblings and parents cannot get justice. But in New Mexico, they allow for parental loss of consortium, and so the gravamen of this case, the crux of this case, is through the New Mexico law, which allows lawsuits like this. So we'll be seeking justice in California under New Mexico law.
And, you know, our hope is that one day California will adopt the same kind of law that exists in New Mexico and allow those who are not a spouse but who are obviously have very close relationships, parents, with their child who was lost, a sister, they all should be acknowledged and be able to seek justice. But we're just not there yet in California.
I'm confused then. You're filing this lawsuit in California, but there's no law that permits you to do it?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
That's not correct.
that-
And so the question has to do, I'll repeat it and then
Sure.
please answer it. How can we be filing this in California if there's no law in California that provides loss of consortium for parents or for a sister, only provides for a spouse or
So,
child?
yeah, the family of Halyna is in Ukraine, and so the defendants are are in California. So what always happens in all cases is you apply the law where the incident occurred, and so you litigate the case here in California, and you apply the law where the incident occurred. So that's the law in California is that you apply the law in New Mexico.
It's called choice of law.
Yes.
And so why did you not file this in New Mexico?
Well, because Russ Productions resides here in California, and there also is the other case already pending here in California.
And although Alec Baldwin has been vigorously, through his attorneys, attempting to dismiss our case, or at least causes of action in it, especially for punitive damages, so far he's been unsuccessful. And so it may be that at some point we will want to consolidate this case with our case for Mamie Mitchell. And may I also say about our client, Mamie Mitchell, she's fully supportive of our lawsuit. For the family, has just so, of course, we all remember that Mamie was the one who immediately called 911 after Halyna was shot by the bullet in the gun that Alec Baldwin aimed at her. And she immediately said, yes, anything that I can do to support this family, I want to do it for Halyna. And we just are so appreciative of her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are there any other questions, Derek?
Gloria, I think you said Alec had not reached out to Halyna's family to express any condolences. Have the family heard from anyone to do with Ross regarding the death?
We haven't asked them who they have heard from. But they haven't heard from Alec Baldwin,
No.
the man with the gun, the loaded gun that ended the life of their daughter.
Can you elaborate more on how Halyna financially supported her parents?
Can we elaborate more on how Halyna financially supported her parents? No, we can't elaborate on that at this time, except that she did provide for them, and of course they helped her as well when she needed the help. Any other questions, Derek?
Yes. If Baldwin's attorneys offered a settlement, would the family accept?
If this is a hypothetical, it's a question of if Baldwin's attorney offered a settlement, would we accept it? That's completely hypothetical. We have no idea, so we can't comment on it. And of course, any decisions on any settlement, if one is offered, would be made by our clients.
Are you also alleging negligence, and what's your theory about why Baldwin in particular was responsible for Halyna Hutchins' death?
I'm not sure if we want to really discuss the evidence, but yes, negligence is one of our theories: battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, and loss of consortium. Any other questions?
How would awarded monetary damages be used by the Hutchins to cope with their loss?
How would an award of monetary damages be used by Olga and Svetlana and Anatoly? We have no idea. We're not there. And really, that's not the main reason for their lawsuit. It's justice and the truth. I think we can take one more question and then one question from the room, and we'll need to conclude. Is there another question there?
Yeah, one more.
Another question on the Zoom.
Do they support the producer's decision to complete the film?
What are our thoughts about the decision to complete the film?
Yeah.
I have no comment on that. Are there any other questions in the room? All right. We're going to thank everyone for coming, and we will give to those who are present a packet which will contain.
Right, Gloria Allred making that announcement today of another lawsuit against Alec Baldwin and the Rust movie production. This all coming after Alec Baldwin already settled with the family of Halyna Hutchins in October in a separate civil suit, the terms of which were not publicly disclosed, but now this new one has just been issued as well. This all comes after the Santa Fe District Attorney charged Baldwin last month with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the shooting. If convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison.